Thank you very much. So this was our home for 6 months, a 23-foot long, 6-foot wide boat, a cabin that was airtight and about the size of a large coffin. 6 months worth of food and a huge pile of equipment, absolutely essential for our journey from Joshi in Japan to San Francisco. The reason we chose Joshi is it's a peninsula, it sticks out into the North Pacific. And all the ships that are coming into Tokyo have to go round that peninsula in order to get into the harbour. So that allows us to get out through the shipping lanes, past that man-made danger and out into safe open water. Unfortunately, in safe open water, there are natural hazards such as 60-foot high waves and 60-mile-an-hour winds. A little bit daunting in a small boat, but she coped very well. Very impressed with her. Thankfully, though, it isn't always giant seas. Sometimes it does calm down. Sometimes you do actually get to see the blue sky and you get an amazing sunrise or an amazing sunset, which is a 360-degree panorama of colour. Absolutely breathtaking. We were accompanied by a few friends on our trip. Albatross followed us the whole way across, and they are the most graceful and beautiful birds in flight. They are absolute masters of the sky. They're not, however, masters of landing or taking off, and they're a little bit clumsy. The way they take off is by spreading their big wings and running along the water until they come to the top of a wave, whereupon the wave drops away beneath them and they start to soar. When it's really calm and flat, they run about a couple of 100 metres before they actually manage to find something large enough to take off from. And it wasn't just above the water, below the water as well. We were joined by 3 fin whales, juveniles, about 35 foot long, so bigger than our boat, considerably heavier too. And they decided to play a couple of games with us. One was chicken. So they'd swim alongside, they'd dive under the boat, pop up the other side, blow their blowhole and take a breath of air, and then go back round for another try. So it was great, but at that particular moment, we were having porridge for breakfast. And of course you end up with whale snot in your porridge, which is none too pleasant. Mick also ran one over. It wasn't just whales as well, we had some really ugly creatures, and on the right hand side is a fish. The sunfish is something that Darwin clearly missed in his theory of evolution. Its body can grow up to 2 metres in diameter. It can have a fin at the top that's 2 metres and another fin at the bottom that's 2 metres. And it just lies there basking in the sun. Weird creature. Throughout all of this, it's a massive challenge, and we just had to keep making progress forward and keep moving forwards in whatever weather the ocean was going to throw at us. Of course, having a good sense of humour always helps, because you know that while you're outside, your teammates sat inside really enjoying it until the 2-hour bell goes and he's then got to get all into his wet overalls, open the door and step outside as you gloatingly pop back inside. And that sense of humour is very important, especially when you're both stuck inside the cabin for sort of weeks at a time. You might sort of come through a period of really nasty weather and just be confined inside. Popping outside to use the rather bleak facilities that were offered to us. And during these periods, showering wasn't a priority. Now, my key lesson that I learned across this fantastic 6-month trip was that there's never a wrong way to solve a problem. There's just a slightly different solution. And this was my solution to the sun beating down in June and July, was to make a caftan robe out of my sleeping bag inner. Mick had another solution, maybe arguably a slightly better solution, which didn't require him to cut up any of his items of sleeping, or any parts of his sleeping bag. And it also dried the towel out quite nicely as well. Now, unfortunately, during our period away, some of our food stores did get damaged by seawater contamination. And so we started to lose a little bit of weight as we couldn't eat the food that we had. We tried to eke out our food supplies for as long as we possibly could. We were down to a soup between 2 of us and a hot strepsil in some hot water as our final meal. And so on day 183, Wayne Lackey appeared in his helicopter Our land support crew have been fantastic and had organised this man here to drop us 3 bags of food and a styrofoam cooler. Inside the styrofoam cooler was 2 Big Macs, 2 fries, 4 beers and some fruit. And I guarantee that after losing nearly 25 kilos in weight, that was the best meal I have ever, and probably will ever, have. The photos of these just keep on coming. The best possible point of this whole trip was when we started to see land and we knew we could get in. We were like, right, I reckon if we're lucky, we can just about make it. We had to go through a naval test area, thread our way through about a 2-mile gap in between the naval test area, this feature, Point Reyes, and about 5 or 6 shipping lines coming in and out of San Francisco with some it's pretty interesting waves there breaking round the point. But we made it just, and the next day we were honoured to row underneath the Golden Gate Bridge and complete what had been a dream for Mick for 10 years and had become a dream of mine for the previous 5. And after 6 months at sea, nothing at all could ever beat that feeling. And this is what I'm doing next, is organising a rowing trip slightly shorter, California to Hawaii. So nice places to leave from, nice places to arrive to. So if you're interested in having some of those experiences, then come and see me afterwards. Thank you very much.